dismissed every accomplishment I've made. You've talked about my father. Well, you call me an entitled millennial, I call you a carny succubus, because the dirty secret about you, the dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs you.
All right, let's do this. What up, y'all? It's Candy the Sexy Ninja in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe. And this is the New World Podcast, brother. I'm tired. I really am tired. And the show like Raw, not waking me up. Few moments did, but let's talk about Raw, July 7th, 2025. Corey and Cole on commentary. We're in Providence, Rhode Island at America Mutual Pavilion. And we started out with Seth Rollins and company, of course. A whole lot of nothing said. Yes, Braun takes the mic away from Seth. I was like, oh, okay. Talks about how much he hates Sammy. Sammy, I hate your face. I hate your music, blah, blah, blah. Then Rollins gets the mic back. And then Bronson Reed is like, I want the mic now. The Braun's having mic time. Says he hates Jey Uso. He's going to end them, Tsunami and stuff like that. There's a goal here they're setting for the rest of the show because they want to be up on everybody. And Seth Rollins has his match with Penta. Then they give the mic to Paul. Paul cuts his promo. And Rollins is just like, yeah, well, everyone already said everything for me, so I have nothing to say. Throws the mic. And he's right. He's right. But, I don't know. I'm just not feeling this group, man. You know, I'm just, there's no name for this group. Should there be a name? I think so. You know what I mean? Like, you created this faction. We call them the Bronze Rollins. Raw Bronze. I don't know. I ain't feeling it, y'all. I just ain't feeling this. And I love Seth. I do like me Braun Breaker. That dude's a beast. I do like Bronson Reed. He is a beast as well. But the whole thing, I don't know where we're going with it. I said on a clip that at a Saturday night main event, Goldberg's going to beat Gunther, but Seth Rollins is going to cash in on Goldberg and win the championship. And I was told, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fine. That's the whole thing about professional wrestling. Is you're allowed to be wrong. You're allowed to be right. You're allowed to be all the things. It's your opinion. So, I don't know. Tell me what you think. Are you guys down with Seth Rollins and company? Maybe that's the name of the group, Seth Rollins and company. Yeah. We go to the Judgment Day Clubhouse, one of my favorite moments of the night. They have a little shrine to Liv. Raquel's like, what the hell's this? You know, and Finn was shining up his belts. All the belts, they have all the gold. And they have this little, like, mourning thing for Liv. Raquel's like, Liv's not dead. Oh, man, that was some good shit right there. And they're like, no, we're acknowledging her. She's, she shoulder injury. Took me 8 months to come back from it. We're just honoring her. But I was like that. Raquel's like, she's not dead, y'all. And after so there's a cake, and Dom tells Finn and JD, like, hey, thank you for the cake. And he's like, we didn't do that. They're in unison, too. That's what I love, too. And they're like, no, that wasn't us. And then Dom looks like goes, oh, it says, get ready, AJ. And then he turns around, and AJ Styles is just behind the thing of the curtain. And he's just like, points at his eyes and points right back at him. I was just like, this man's creating memes. Oh, shit. That shit was great, though. But Raquel tells Roxanne before all this she needs to go prove herself because she does have the first match of the night. But this Judgment Day Clubhouse thing was freaking great. Especially with AJ Styles and Dom. They're going to cook when they finally get to that match. Kairi Sane versus Roxanne Perez. It just wasn't clicking between these two. And that happens with Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane can usually be really on board and really pull a great match, or she's usually not. But Roxanne and Kyrie were just not clicking in this match. You can tell they're trying, but nothing really. Kyrie Sane got the win over Roxanne Perez. I was like, oh, okay. But beat down, of course, afterwards. And I was like, Asuka's coming out. They're the third team, fourth team in this four-way for the tag team championships. The Kabuki Warriors are back, right? And then Asuka's music comes out, and bada bing, bada boom. Asuka's back, saving Kyrie. The Kabuki Warriors are back in action, and then later on we find out what we find out. Jackie's with Sammy, and Sammy's like, I'm going to do what I need to do because I will never give up. Then Scarlett shows up, and Jackie's like, you got to say anything? She's like, no, and I'm like, And this right here, this is what pisses me off. Okay, this is during a commercial break because they showed a little, if you're paying for not commercials, you get to see everything in between. And then they usually take everything, all those commercial things out. Why the fuck is the New Day in the commercial breaks? Like, this is some great stuff right here. They're dressed up all in black. They're mourning. The tag team division is dead because they are no longer the tag team champions, man. And I was like, why is this in the commercial break? You know this is going to be taken out once the playback happens. And I've been wondering, I remember one time I watched Raw after it showed live, and I got cut out the commercials and stuff like that. And I know there was a thing with the New Day, but it was during the commercial break. And once again, they're in the commercial break. Huh? Who? Like, why? Who's doing this? Who's making choices like this? Adam's backstage with American Made. Ivy's like, I want, to be in the Battle Royale for Evolution. And Adam's like, you are? They're like, oh. And El Grande Americano has a match tonight. And Big Head Boy and the Creed brothers opens his mouth and says, how? Chad's in trouble. Chad's hurt. And then he gets slapped in the back of the head like, yeah, shut up. Because remember, Chad Gable is not El Grande Americano. Kabuki Warriors come in, and then they get their opportunity at Evolution, part of that fatal four-way for the tag team championships at Evolution. Ciao. Nikki Bella, she's in the Battle Royale at Evolution. I'm like, okay. Right. I'm already worried that she's going to win. I was like, they just gave Trish a championship match just out of nowhere with Tiffy. And that was just like, why? All in Texas. I mean, Evolution. It is a stat card. I'm not going to lie. Then Sami Zayn's coming out. Then Karrion Kross attacks him, hits him with the pipe. Sami's like, I'm not going to give up afterwards. Just like my ribs. Here comes a Braun Breaker. And he takes out Sami, spearing him. And Cole's yelling, stop it, ref. God, Adam, someone stop it. Kind of understood where this was going. And Breaker takes him out. Then we get Adam with the War Raiders. Then here comes the New Day in mourning. Adam's like, what the hell am I looking at? They're like, the tag team division's dead. We're mourning here, Adam. And Becky comes over. She's like, I'm sorry for your loss. Which was really good. And the New Day are like, thank you. Then I like how Becky's like, I'm so glad you got rid of that Big E guy. He's such an ass. Or well, I forgot what she said, but yeah, the New Day's like, thank you, Becky. Oh, thank you. Then we get a JD McDonough package, and we get Becky Lynch coming out. The man's here, then Bayley interrupts and Lyra interrupts. I will say this is my second favorite part of the show because of the fact that it got kind of heated. And I can't wait to see these three go at it for the Intercontinental Championship. Like this feud has been slowly building and building, especially the hatred with Lyra and Bayley, and then like this whole back and forth. And Lyra's like, you know what, Bayley, you're just like her. You guys don't want friends, you all want championships. So I got to save it because you narcissistic, people, and the way you're acting. And Lyra, and I just love when Bayley's like, whoa, hold the phone. I saw you win. I saw you win that championship. I was ringside. Then, I saw when you win at WrestleMania. Then you lost. And then when you lost the Intercontinental Championship, you raised Becky's hand like a little bitch. I was like, damn. And this just ends up in a big old fight. But Lyra stood tall above Becky, above Bayley, man. And I just gotta say this was some good shit right here. This woke me up a little bit more. I was like, oh, yeah. But no, it's just like I raised her hand like a little bitch, Lyra. This is some good stuff. I definitely enjoyed it. You should go watch this. Sheamus and Rusev package because they had some slapping meat. Big match last week. And that match is pretty good. Sheamus and Rusev. They beat the shit out of each other. Seth's backstage with the Brawns. And Braun Breaker's looking sad. He's like, what? He goes, man, I cross, blah, blah, blah. And Seth's just trying to remind him, like, hey, man, you still took him out. You made a promise, and Bronson's like, yeah. And then Seth's like, yeah, what are you going to do? Huh? Jay's still out there. Jay's still healthy and everything in that way. So what are you laughing about? You got a job to do, too, is to go take out Mr. Jey Uso. And Bronson's like, yeah, you're right. And Paul comes in, sad face. And he's like, oh, have you heard the news? Sami Zayn is out indefinitely for now. But Sami Zayn is off the board, and Bronson Reed is very happy. No, Braun Breaker. God, there's too many the Brawns. Next up, what is this? Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed is next. This was okay. Ended in DQ because Bronson Reed threw a chair at Jey Uso's head. I was like, okay. Sure. And Jey Uso didn't have his gear on, which was funny because he just has shorts, his knee pads, and what he usually wears footwear-wise. But I was like, oh, did you forget your gear, man? He's like, I'm just phoning this one in. Yeet. But yeah, he ends in a DQ, and of course, Tsunami! I thought he was going to keep going, and I was like, all right, you're going to take him off the board. No? That's it? No more tsunamis? All right. Sure. Why? Why not? LA Knight promo. Then we get a Rhea and Io package. I'm very excited about that match because long history between these two, and Rhea hasn't beat Io. I like the story we're telling there. El Grande Americano. Why are you doing this to my boy Ludwig? Versus Dragon Lee. And man, I gotta tell you, as much as this El Grande Americano thing was great in the beginning, with Chad and everything like that, and now it's just really getting played out. I'm really getting tired of Cole arguing with either Pat and now Corey about this is not El Grande Americano, it's Chad Gable. No, it's not. And I don't know. It was just getting really played out, especially during this match. And what sucks is like I don't think it's fair to Ludwig, who doesn't wrestle, in that style. So he looked very awkward and stiff with Dragon Lee. And poor Dragon Lee, like, where the hell have you been, my guy? You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing with Dragon Lee? Like, Rey Mysterio made this guy seem like he was the next luchador and everything like that. And that's the problem with luchadors. They bring them in and they hype them up and then they kind of really do nothing. And El Grande Americano got the win. I was like, oh, that's cool. I hope we're building to either when Chad finally gets cleared and whatnot, he comes back and we have El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano, Like, clearly we know that is Ludwig because he's a foot taller and, is clearly my boy. So, yeah. And then we get Penta and Paul backstage. Paul's trying to talk to Penta. Here comes Breaker. We get a Seattle Miedo. And I just like how Paul's like, I hate his little hand thing. And Breaker's like, me too. It's so stupid. Jackie with Karrion Kross. Crowd starts chanting, we want Kross, we want Kross. I'm just like, you guys are the problem. Because they chant for Seth too. I'm like, he's the bad guy. Stop singing along. Oh, Karrion Kross is a bad guy. Why are we cheering? That was just like, just switching the babyface. But what's funny about this whole Karrion Kross interview, he goes on. And Sammy, anytime you come out, I'll be there. Anytime, blah, blah. I'm like, did no one give this man the memo that Sammy's out indefinitely because of Braun Breaker? Did no one give him that note before he took this interview? I guess not. And Jackie didn't even say it. She's like, hey, I know you're saying this, but it was just kind of announced that he's out indefinitely. That's where Karrion Kross went like, well, I don't know. And there's just a lot going on. This Karrion Kross thing with Sammy with Braun Breaker, the Seth Rollins stuff, and this and that. It's just like, yeah. Stephanie Van Cure package, of course she's going to be at Evolution, but I'm like, where have you been, girl? Where you been, Steph? Where you been? And my other low point of the show. My boy Gunther comes out. He's like, hey, I've been talking all this shit about Goldberg, and he has been nowhere to be seen. So, he's just a little punk bitch in my mind. Well, that's not what he said, but I was hoping he said that. And then, muscle car. Goldberg. And the crowd, Goldberg. Comes out there and he lays out Gunther. I was like, I don't care. I just hope Gunther whoops that ass, old Berg. That's all I want. That's all I wish for. I think it's more irritating than the fact that the whole reason we had to take off the championship off Jey Uso, who's hot, man, who's on fire, just so we could have had this match. This match didn't even need the fucking title. Sorry. I just don't like Goldberg. We got a Kyrie package. Then we get Jackie with Alpha. I don't even know why you're still calling them Alpha Academy. Maxine and Cesaro and Natalya. Natalya and Maxine say they're in the Battle Royale. Ava's going to announce more people on NXT tomorrow night. So we shall see. We shall see where we're going with this. Because whoever wins gets the Clash in Paris or Perth. Was it Paris? No, Crown Jewel is in Perth and Clash in Paris is in Paris. Well, it's in the name, Kyle. Or is it Clash at the Castle? Was it? I don't know. We're going all over the world. There's so many shows. You got Clash in Paris. You got Crown Jewel. You got SummerSlam. And then they're already announcing Survivor Series. And they're doing something which I kind of find silly. They're putting the names of the towns in the logos themselves now. I know they've been doing that for a while, but they're like, Survivor Series, San Diego, instead of just saying War Games. I'm like, what? Okay. I wonder if that's like a TKO thing. Now to the main event. Penta versus Seth Rollins. This match was freaking awesome, dude. But my problem is you have Penta who hits two of his biggest moves that he wins with for Seth Rollins to kick out of. And Seth Rollins, I know it's the curb stomp. I know that's like the devastating one. He did hit Penta in the balls. But man, you kicked out of two of Penta's biggest moves. And I'm like, what? No, he didn't only kick out. Like, he kicked out the first one, then he put his hand on the rope on the second one. I was like, what? All right. But this was a good match. This was like the best match of the whole show. Of everything that was going on. I gotta say, this was really freaking awesome. And Seth Rollins gets the win. Then, of course, he tells Paul, call them. Then the Brawns come out. And LA Knight is too quick, too fast, too slick, because he's LA Knight. Yeah! He takes out Seth Rollins. Penta's gone. And that's the way we end the show, is LA Knight on top. And Seth is down, and that's it. That's all. Now we're on SmackDown in Nashville with Jelly Roll. I am not okay. I'm barely getting by. You know what's funny is I was talking to someone about Jelly Roll. I was like, man, you need to listen to old Jelly Roll. Old Jelly Roll is, like, I like this, some of his country stuff, some of it, but not all of it. Like, go back and, like, dig deep in the discography of Jelly Roll. That's some good shit right there, man. The dude had bars. The dude can sing, too. Like, that's what made Jelly Roll so unique. He comes from the underground and this and that. And, yeah, and if everyone knows, yes, I listen to a lot of underground music, hip-hop and stuff, Juggalo. Yeah, it's tatted on my arm. But, yeah, Jelly Roll, go back, go dig deep in that discography. There's a lot more cool stuff than I'm not okay. Or all the other songs he sings for Twister movies and stuff like that. But yeah, all right, y'all. Well, that's it. Next week, they're in Birmingham. That was Raw, July 7th, 2025. Corey and Cole and commentary in Providence, Rhode Island at the America Mutual Pavilion. Match of the night. Penta versus Seth Rollins in the main event. Moment of the night. Man, it's a tie. It's a freaking tie between the Judgment Day Clubhouse. She's not dead, guys. And then AJ watching Dom, you know what I mean? And, like, I think that's the best silly, great comedy moment of the night. And the best serious moment of the night was Becky, Bayley, and Lyra. You know, you raised her hand like a little bitch. Like, those are tied, man. But, yeah. Weakest moment of the night? I don't do weak moments, but there is a weak moment in the stupid Goldberg. Can't wait till Gunther beats his ass. All right, y'all. Drop those comments below. Hit that like. Hit the subscribe. Share your grandma. Share the bum down at Walmart. And if you like Goldberg, good for you. This is just my opinion. You know, we're just wrestling fans here. We're crazy. We're all crazy. We all hated Roman Reigns. Now he's the biggest star here. Because we're wrestling fans. We're just crazy like that. All right? Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being you. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother. And I give this Raw a 2.5 out of 5.
That Intercontinental Championship, and you raised her hand like a little bitch.